everybody, this is Erica Burnett here, the founder of the She Can Say It podcast. I wanted to do this video to share an experience with you that I had not too long ago. This is pre-recorded, so by the time you see this video, it'll probably be like a month later or more since I was stood up for dinner. Yes, I said it. I was stood up for dinner. But this is not, a video to complain about the other person or anything like that. This is a video just to help individuals, or my sisters, sorry, not individuals, my sisters, to process being stood up for any reason, whether it's a meeting, whether it's dinner, whether it's lunch, or whether it's breakfast. A lot of times when we women are stood up, we internalize all of that, and the first place we go is inside and say, well, what did I do wrong? How did this happen? Was it something I said, something I did earlier? And that's not the place to go. And we do that to ourselves, and I have not a clue why. We just internalize someone else's actions, and most of the time we do. When dealing with or processing the fact that you were stood up, meaning a lot of things go into that, preparation for the date, whether, breakfast, lunch, and dinner preparation for it, meaning hair done, nails done, makeup possibly, you're putting your clothes and your outfit together, pre-thinking about what you're going to wear and all this other here stuff. So a lot of mental energy goes into planning, to go on a date. So when you go on a date and you're stood up, it's like a shock, because it's like the person just completely disregarded you, which they did. They disregarded you as a human being, and they also disregarded your time and energy that it took for you to get ready for that date. So of course you have the right to be angry, you have the right to be upset, you have the right to be disappointed, because it is a disappointment. Absolutely. A disappointment. It really is a disappointment. So I just want to give some tips on how to process, being stood up. Because it's not a fun thing. It's not a fun thing. But first and foremost, you must not believe that it's your fault. You must not think that you've done anything wrong to cause this, because you did not. The fault lies with the person who did not keep the commitment. If you took the time to get your outfit together, to do your makeup, your hair, and show up, because you committed yourself and you show up, you give 100%, it's not your fault. It's nothing you could have done to prevent that person from not showing up. So please do not, by any means, blame yourself and think that you said something wrong way back. You did something wrong. Maybe your attitude wasn't right or whatever have you. The person that you committed to this date with, both of you guys committed. So you can't be accountable for somebody else's commitment. When someone else makes a commitment to something, or when someone, period, makes a commitment to something, that's their commitment to that thing. That's not yours. So you can't take accountability for what someone else does. You did your part. You showed up. You were fully ready, and you were committed because you showed up. If they don't show up, that lack of commitment falls on them. That's their character. It speaks to their character and how they show up as a person. You have nothing to do with that at all. So please, please, please do not blame yourself for something like that. Also, what you want to do is I can't even say you want to do this. I don't know. For me, I did. But what I did was I sent a message. And it wasn't a nasty message, some people might say, because I really honestly wasn't angry. I wasn't angry, and I'm going to tell you why I wasn't angry. I wasn't angry because I did my part. I did my part. I'm a person of integrity. So if I commit to something, I keep it. I keep my commitment. If I cannot, after I make that commitment, and for some reason I really cannot make it, either I'm sick, there's a family emergency, something like that, that I cannot make it, or something in me or something in my spirit says, this is not right, I'll let you know. I will not let it slide and just let you show up and not show up. I won't do that. I will make sure that I confirm with you that I won't be able to make it. That's how I live my life, with integrity. So that's why I wasn't mad. I did my part. I showed up. I stayed committed. Now, on the other hand, a lot of people, which you have a right to, is get upset about the time aspect of it that I mentioned earlier. Meaning that you took the time to get dressed, to get down there and show up for dinner, or even if he was going to pick you up, you were ready and waiting at the door. That still takes time and energy. So the time that you spent to prepare for the date cannot be regained. You can't get that time back. So if you're a little agitated about that, I get it. I completely understand. Anybody would, the fact that you spend the time and energy to do that. But at the same time, you don't want to marinate in anger, because it'll turn to bitterness. And then the next person, who actually could be the person that really likes you and stuff like that, you will definitely destroy your chances of, meeting a good guy or something like that. So you don't want to hold on to that. If you feel as though you need to get that off your chest, and you want to tell the person who, had a hand in making you feel that way, nothing wrong. I don't think there's anything wrong with leaving a message. I believe in accountability, and everybody won't agree, with my method and how I go about, something like this. But I believe in accountability. I believe that a person should be made aware of what they've done, um, in making you feel a specific way, like not keeping their commitment and just, abandoning you and just sitting back and not saying anything. So I think all of us as human beings don't grow if we don't hold one another accountable. So I did leave a message. It wasn't a nasty message. It was very respectful message, basically saying that, wishing the person well, and like, you take care of yourself, sort of thing. It was very basic, it was very short. And I think it's okay to do that. I think it's okay to do that. That allows you to close the chapter and move on, and not hold on to any bitterness, and not bitterness, but any anger. Sorry, not anger that will make you bitter in the long run, because that's something you don't want. You don't want to hang on to stuff like that. Which leads me to the next thing, which is forgiveness. Forgiveness is something that will definitely not have you hanging on to bitterness and anger and stuff like that, which will not serve you well. Just forgive. Forgive. I mean, it could have been for any reason, a million reasons. Believe it or not, some people don't do that to mean you any harm, to destroy yourself. Some people do now, to destroy your self-esteem and stuff like that. Some people don't know what to say. They might have changed their minds, which is fine. We're all allowed to change our minds. So it could be that. It could be that, they liked you, weren't ready, didn't know what to say. Again, they just didn't know what to say. You'd be surprised. There's a million reasons. You will never know what their reason was unless they decide to come back and tell you what that reason is. But you can't wait on that. You have to move on. So forgive them. Forgive them. They're human. For whatever reason, they did what they did, and you can't control it. So, it's best that you let it go. And that's for your sanity. Just let it go. And that was the three things. Number 4 is the last thing, is that you should, I'm having a brain freeze right here. Oh, you need to separate yourself from that person. And it's up to you whether it's permanent or not. But I think it's a good idea to separate yourself, meaning off of social media, phone, all of that. If you must block if it's a temporary thing for you, fine. If you're strong enough to just leave it be, and you know he not going to call you no more or whatever have you, then fine. But you do need a break, because sometimes we sit there and say, I'm cool, it ain't really bothering me and stuff like that, until you see a picture of his face, or you see the phone number pop up, or somebody mentions the name or something like that, and then you realize you really have not gotten over the fact of what happened, being stood up. So you'd be surprised, sometimes we are triggered very slightly, we think we've gotten over something, and just a simple reminder will send us right back to what happened, and all of a sudden our mood changes and all of that. So those are the four things. The first thing is that come to an understanding that you did not do anything wrong. That's the first thing. The second thing is optional. If you want to leave a message for accountability purposes, to get it off your chest, as to say, how you felt and stuff like that. It's vulnerable. I understand people don't want to do that, but sometimes it's good if you let it out. And if you can't do it, if you don't want to, leave a message, a voicemail message or a text message, journal it. Put it in your journal how you felt, how this person made you feel when they stood you up. And number 3 is forgive. Forgiveness will set you free. It will let you go and move on. And number 4, separate yourself. Just put some space in between. It's not a detrimental thing. Being stood up, it is disappointing. It is disappointing, but it's not it, and it can be life altering depending on how you process it. It really isn't. If you're at the point in your life where you know who you are as a person, and you know how you show up in the world, you walk with integrity, you know who you are, you're strong, and you're confident, you're strong, and how you show up in the world, you know how you present yourself, you know that you walk in strong integrity, then most times people who know who they are and are confident and strong like that, stuff doesn't bother them. I mean, it's disappointing. They're like, okay. I mean, because you can't control another human being. You never will be able to control someone. So it's easy for people who walk with that kind of strength and confidence and an integrity to let stuff go. So it's very easy. So if you're not at that point, you got to get to that point where you can say, okay. And listen, some people would say that it's like, well, it's their loss. It's not even about that, because maybe that person was not for you. So how is it their loss if if that person wasn't for you, or you weren't for them? So it's not really a loss. So you really can't even go that route. Really, you shouldn't go that route, because you don't know. You know what I mean? Because if something is supposed to work out, it'll work out, and if it doesn't, that means that they weren't for you and you weren't for them. So those are the four things. And I just wanted to share that with you, because I know we as women are very sensitive to things like that. And being stood up is, like I said, complete and total disregard for your time and your energy. So trust me, I know how that feels. And I'm happy to say that I've gotten to the point where I am okay. And I did not blink, when it happened, because I understand the human experience where we do things and we don't think about most times the other person. And that's majority of people on this earth. We just do, and we don't think about the effect that it has on someone else. So hopefully those tips are beneficial to your life. So if it ever happens to you, or if not, hopefully you heard something that's beneficial in other areas. So thank you so much for watching. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments section on YouTube. And also, as I always do after every video, I put together a health and not a health and wellness, but an emotional wellness resource and resource development. I'm just saying it all wrong. Emotional wellness and development resource for each video that I do. So I go on the website and I create a page. And I also create a free downloadable document stating and talking about everything that I talked about in the video that gives you step by step. So if you ever want to go back and look and see what it is that you can use that's beneficial to you, that's what I do. So any questions, feel free to drop some comments. The link will be below not will be, but is below in the description. So hopefully you find something beneficial. And I know I'm repeating myself, but thank you so much for stopping by. Take care, and I will see you soon. So long.